Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spoke life over yourself? I mean, really looked in the mirror, looked into your own eyes, and declared your greatness. It's easy to speak blessings over someone else, to cheer them on, to lift them up. But today, I want you to realize you have to start with you. You've got to speak blessings upon yourself. Words are not just a means of communication, they are carriers of energy capable of influencing our thoughts, emotions, and ultimately our reality. Every word we speak has the power to shape our experience of life, whether we realize it or not. From the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we fall asleep, the words we use, both spoken and unspoken, act as building blocks that construct the world around us. They can either create a life filled with possibilities or one riddled with limitations. Consider the simple fact that words are the tools we use to define ourselves, our circumstances, and our relationships. When we say, I can't, we're not just describing a limitation, we are setting one in place. On the other hand, when we say, I can, we are opening up a door of possibility, setting ourselves up for success. It's often said that we are the stories we tell ourselves. If that's true, then our words are the ink that writes the chapters of our lives. Each sentence we speak or think is like a brushstroke on the canvas of our reality. The power of words begins with our internal dialogue, what we say to ourselves in the quiet moments when no one else is listening. This internal conversation has a profound impact on our self-esteem, confidence, and outlook on life. If we constantly tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or things never work out for me, we begin to believe those statements. Over time, those negative words become self-fulfilling prophecies. We start to act in ways that align with those beliefs, perhaps by avoiding opportunities, settling for less, or not taking the risks that could lead to growth. But the beauty of words is that their power works both ways. Just as negative words can limit us, positive words can uplift us, empower us, and create new opportunities. When we consciously choose to speak words of possibility, hope, and strength, we begin to shift our mindset. Instead of focusing on what we lack or fear, we start to see what is possible. Words like I am capable, I deserve success, and I am worthy begin to reshape the way we view ourselves and the world around us. Beyond our internal dialogue, the words we speak to others carry immense weight as well. We have all experienced the impact of a kind word at the right moment, or conversely, the sting of harsh criticism. A few encouraging words can motivate someone to reach for their dreams, while a few careless comments can discourage them from even trying. When we speak to others, we have a responsibility to be mindful of the energy our words carry. Are we lifting others up or tearing them down? Are we spreading positivity or negativity? Moreover, words have the power to heal or to harm. Think about the time someone said something that hurt you deeply. It may have been years ago, but the sting of those words can still linger. Conversely, a heartfelt compliment or a word of encouragement can stay with you just as long, becoming a source of strength during difficult times. Our words have the ability to leave lasting impressions, not only on ourselves, but on those around us. This is why it's so important to choose our words carefully, to be intentional about the energy we put out into the world. Words also have the power to manifest our desires into reality. When we speak about our dreams, our goals, and our ambitions, we are setting the stage for those things to come to fruition. By verbalizing what we want, we create a sense of clarity and direction. Our words help us focus our energy, and in turn, we attract the resources, people, and opportunities needed to achieve our goals. But the key is consistency. It's not enough to simply speak positive words. Once we must make it a daily practice, reinforcing those affirmations until they become a core part of our belief system. However, it's important to note that the power of words is not magic. It's not about simply saying the right things and hoping for the best. The real power comes when words are backed by intention, belief, and action. When we align our words with our deepest intentions and take consistent steps toward our goals, that's when transformation happens. Words become the spark that ignites action, and action leads to real, tangible change. Our words are far more than just sounds. They are vibrations that resonate with the world around us, shaping our reality one syllable at a time. Whether we are speaking to ourselves or others, we must be conscious of the energy our words carry. When we speak with intention, positivity, and belief, we unlock the potential to create a life that reflects our highest vision. So choose your words wisely. They have the power to create the reality you desire. Self-affirmation is one of the most powerful practices we can incorporate into our daily lives. Often, people mistake speaking blessings over themselves as an act of arrogance or self-centeredness, but in reality, it's an act of love and faith. Affirming yourself is about recognizing your inherent worth, your potential, and your ability to navigate through life with purpose and resilience. At its core, self-affirmation is a declaration of belief in yourself. It's about standing tall and claiming what you know to be true about your capabilities and value, even in the face of doubt or challenge. Life is full of moments that test our confidence, our strength, and our sense of self. In those moments, the voice you hear most clearly is your own. The words you speak to yourself can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Now, think about the messages you've internalized over the years. Too often, we've been conditioned to downplay our strengths, to avoid praising ourselves for fear of coming off as arrogant or boastful. But there's a clear difference between self-affirmation and arrogance. Arrogance is rooted in insecurity and the need for external validation. It is about elevating yourself at the expense of others. Self-affirmation, on the other hand, is about acknowledging your value without comparison, without needing to diminish anyone else. It is an internal process driven by self-respect and a recognition of the unique gifts you bring to the world. When you speak blessings over yourself, you are planting seeds of self-worth, confidence, and resilience. You are telling yourself, I am worthy of success. I am capable of achieving my goals. I deserve to be happy and fulfilled. These affirmations become the foundation upon which you build your actions, choices, and relationships. They give you the inner strength to take risks, to embrace opportunities, and to persist through challenges. It's important to remember that self-affirmation is not just about saying positive words, it's about believing them. It's about nurturing a deep sense of trust in yourself and your abilities. This trust is essential because the world can be full of voices that tell you otherwise. There will always be naysayers, doubters, and critics, but when you've cultivated a strong sense of self through affirmation, those external voices lose their power. Speaking blessings over yourself is also an act of faith. It's about believing in a greater plan for your life, even when the path is unclear. It's about trusting that you have been given everything you need to succeed, even if it's not all apparent at the moment. When you affirm yourself, you are declaring your faith in the process of growth, in the timing of your life, and in the potential you hold within you. We often wait for others to affirm us, to tell us we're doing a good job, that we're loved, that we're enough. While external validation can feel good, it's fleeting and unreliable. True confidence comes from within. It comes from being able to look at yourself and say, I am enough just as I am. When you speak blessings over yourself, you are taking control of your narrative. You are deciding how you show up in the world, how you treat yourself, and how you allow others to treat you. Self-affirmation also helps to set boundaries. When you regularly affirm your worth, you become less likely to tolerate disrespect, negativity, or situations that don't serve your highest good. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the vision you've set for yourself. In this way, speaking blessings over yourself becomes not only a personal act of empowerment, but a way to shape your entire environment. So take a moment today and every day to speak blessings over yourself. Affirm your strength, your intelligence, your kindness, and your unique gifts. Do it not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of deep love and faith in who you are. When you do this consistently, you will find that your life begins to shift in ways you never imagined. You'll start to see yourself as the powerful, worthy individual you truly are, and the world will reflect that truth back to you. Negative self-talk can be one of the most insidious forces in our lives. It creeps in when we least expect it, whispering doubts and reinforcing insecurities. We often don't even realize how deeply embedded this negative dialogue has become. It shows up in subtle ways when we look in the mirror and criticize our appearance, when we dismiss our accomplishments, or when we tell ourselves we're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. This internal dialogue can be so pervasive that it begins to feel normal, almost like background noise that we've learned to live with. But here's the truth: negative self-talk is not harmless, and it is not something we should simply accept. It has the power to shape our mindset, limit our potential, and keep us stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. Every time we engage in negative self-talk, we are reinforcing a belief system that tells us we are less than, incapable, or unworthy. Over time, this internal dialogue becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We start to live down to our own expectations, avoiding risks, shrinking from opportunities, and settling for less than we deserve. Reversing negative self-talk is not easy, but it is possible, and it starts with awareness. The first step in breaking the cycle of negative thinking is to become conscious of it. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you're faced with a challenge or a setback. Notice the words you use when you talk about yourself, whether out loud or in your head. Are they words of encouragement and possibility, or are they filled with criticism, fear, and doubt? Once you've identified the negative patterns, it's time to challenge them. Ask yourself, are these thoughts really true? Often, negative self-talk is based on fear, not fact. For example, when you catch yourself thinking, I always mess up, pause and reflect. Is that really true? Can you think of times when you've succeeded, when you've overcome obstacles, or when you've learned from your mistakes? More often than not, negative self-talk is an exaggeration, a distortion of reality, and when we challenge it, we can see it for what it truly is, a limiting belief that no longer serves us. After challenging these negative thoughts, the next step is to replace them with words of encouragement and possibility. This is where the real power of self-affirmation comes into play. Instead of saying, I can't say, I'm learning how. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, remind yourself I'm growing and I have the potential to succeed. By consciously choosing to replace negative dialogue with positive affirmations, you are rewiring your brain to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. It's important to understand that this process takes time. Negative self-talk is often a deeply ingrained habit, one that we've developed over years or even decades. Reversing it requires patience and persistence. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Just as negative self-talk can create a downward spiral, positive self-talk can create an upward one. Every time you replace a limiting thought with an empowering one, you are reinforcing a new, healthier belief system. This shift in internal dialogue doesn't just impact your mindset, it affects your actions as well. When you speak words of encouragement to yourself, you start to approach life with a sense of possibility. You begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to avoid. You become more willing to take risks, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, you have the resilience and strength to learn and keep moving forward. Furthermore, reversing negative self-talk helps to build self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and punishing ourselves when we fall short. But when we learn to speak to ourselves with kindness and understanding, we cultivate a sense of compassion for our own humanity. We recognize that it's okay to make mistakes, to not have all the answers, and to be a work in progress. This self-compassion creates space for growth, allowing us to embrace our imperfections and continue moving forward with grace. The power of this practice extends beyond just personal growth. It influences how we interact with the world around us. When we treat ourselves with kindness and encouragement, we are more likely to extend that same grace to others. We become more understanding, more supportive, and more empathetic. This positive energy radiates outward, improving our relationships, our work, and our overall experience of life. So the next time you catch yourself in a cycle of negative self-talk, take a moment to pause, challenge, and replace. Remind yourself that you are worthy of speaking kindly to yourself just as you would to a loved one or a friend. Choose words that lift you up, that open doors, and that invite growth. Over time, you will find that your internal dialogue transforms, and with it, your entire outlook on life. By challenging and replacing negative self-talk with words of encouragement and possibility, you are not only changing the way you think, you are changing the way you live. Creating a new mindset is the key to unlocking the potential that lies dormant within each of us. Our mindset, how we think, interpret, and respond to the world shapes our reality more than we often realize. It governs our actions, dictates our habits, and ultimately determines the quality of our lives. When we change our mindset, we change the way we approach challenges, opportunities, and even setbacks. A new mindset is like putting on a new pair of glasses. Suddenly the world looks different, not because the world has changed, but because your perception of it has. The first step in creating a new mindset is recognizing the need for change. So many of us live on autopilot, operating under a fixed set of beliefs that we rarely question. We inherit beliefs from our upbringing, our culture, and our past experiences, and they become the foundation of how we view ourselves in the world. Some of these beliefs serve us well, but others can hold us back. When we start to recognize that certain patterns of thinking are no longer helpful or worse, are sabotaging our potential, we create the space for a new mindset to take root. Creating a new mindset begins with self-awareness. You need to become aware of the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping your current actions. Are they empowering or limiting? Do they open doors or close them? For example, if you find yourself constantly thinking, I'm not good enough, or I always fail, you are reinforcing a mindset that keeps you stuck in self-doubt and fear. The stories we tell ourselves on a daily basis have a powerful impact on what we believe we can achieve. Changing those stories is the first step in transforming your mindset. Once you've identified limiting beliefs, it's time to challenge them. Ask yourself, are these beliefs true, or are they simply the product of past experiences that no longer apply to who you are now? Often we hold on to old beliefs out of habit, not because they reflect our current reality. For example, a belief formed in childhood that you're not creative may have been based on a single event or a comment someone made, yet it could still be influencing your decisions today. Challenging these beliefs means looking at them critically and deciding whether they are serving your present self. When you realize that many of these limiting beliefs are outdated or unfounded, you free yourself to adopt new, empowering ones. Creating a new mindset also involves cultivating a growth-oriented perspective. People with a fixed mindset tend to see their abilities as set in stone. They believe that intelligence, talent, and success are largely determined by factors outside of their control. This kind of thinking can be incredibly limiting because it discourages effort and resilience. On the other hand, a growth mindset is rooted in the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication, learning, and perseverance. When you adopt a growth mindset, you start to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to avoid. You begin to value effort over inherent talent, understanding that every failure is a stepping stone to success. Another essential component of creating a new mindset is reframing failure. Many people view failure as something to fear and avoid at all costs. But failure is an inevitable part of any growth process. If you never fail, you're not stretching yourself enough, not taking the risks that lead to innovation and progress. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth, a new mindset views it as feedback, valuable information that can guide your next steps. Every setback contains a lesson. And when you approach life with this mindset, failure becomes a tool for learning rather than a reason to quit. A new mindset also requires a commitment to positive self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves shapes our mindset more than anything else. If your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, doubt, and negativity, it will be nearly impossible to create lasting change. Instead, practice speaking to yourself with encouragement, compassion, and optimism. When you face challenges, replace thoughts like, I can't do this with I'm learning and I will find a way. This shift in language rewires your brain to focus on solutions rather than problems, fostering resilience and motivation. Visualization is another powerful tool for creating a new mindset. By vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and living the life you desire, you are programming your brain to align with that reality. Visualization helps you internalize the belief that what you want is not only possible but inevitable if you stay committed. The more clearly you can see yourself succeeding, the more you'll be motivated to take the necessary actions to make it happen. Creating a new mindset involves surrounding yourself with positivity. The people, environments, and media you engage with all influence your mindset. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, or doubt, it's going to be much harder to maintain an empowering mindset. Seek out people who inspire you, who believe in your potential, and who encourage you to grow. Create environments that foster creativity, motivation, and peace. Fill your mind with content that uplifts you and expands your thinking. Creating a new mindset is about taking control of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It's about realizing that you have the power to shape your reality by choosing how you think. When you create a new mindset, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities, seeing opportunities where you once saw limitations. The journey isn't always easy, but with consistency and commitment, you can transform your mind, and in doing so, transform your life. Building a daily practice is essential for creating lasting change in your life. It is through consistent, intentional actions that progress is made, habits are formed, and new mindsets take root. A daily practice, whether it's focused on personal growth, health, spirituality, or success, serves as the foundation upon which transformation occurs. It's not about making drastic changes overnight, but rather about the small, deliberate steps you take each day that compound over time to bring about significant results. The key is consistency, showing up every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, and even when you're not seeing immediate results. The first step in building a daily practice is deciding what you want to focus on and why it's important to you. Clarity is crucial because without it, it's easy to lose motivation or direction. What is the bigger goal or vision you're working toward? Whether it's improving your physical health, cultivating a more positive mindset, or developing a skill, understanding the deeper reason behind your practice gives you purpose. This purpose is what will keep you committed, especially on days when it's tempting to skip or fall back into old habits. Once you're clear on your focus, the next step is to break it down into manageable actions. A daily practice doesn't have to be overwhelming or time-consuming to be effective. In fact, starting small is often the best approach. If your goal is to improve your mental health, for example, you might begin with just 5 minutes of meditation each morning or writing down 3 things you're grateful for every night. If your focus is on physical fitness, it could be as simple as committing to a 15-minute walk each day. The important thing is to create a practice that is realistic and sustainable, something you can commit to without feeling overwhelmed. Over time, as the habit becomes ingrained, you can gradually increase the intensity or duration. Building a daily practice also requires discipline. It's easy to start strong when you're feeling motivated, but motivation can fade, and that's when discipline has to take over. Discipline is about doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up for yourself consistently, understanding that the small steps you take each day are building towards something bigger. One of the best ways to cultivate discipline is to create a routine. When something becomes a part of your daily routine, it requires less mental effort to follow through. You don't have to think about whether or not you'll do it, you just do it. The same way you brush your teeth or shower every day without question. Accountability is another powerful tool in building a daily practice. Sharing your goals with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, family member, or mentor, can help keep you on track. When you know someone else is aware of your commitment, you're less likely to skip a day or give up entirely. Accountability can also come in the form of tracking your progress, whether it's keeping a journal, using an app, or simply marking days off on a calendar. Seeing your consistency over time is incredibly motivating. It creates a sense of accomplishment and reinforces the belief that you're making progress, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Another important aspect of building a daily practice is flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and there will inevitably be days when things don't go as planned. Perhaps you get sick, work gets overwhelming, or family obligations take precedence. It's important to be kind to yourself in these moments and understand that missing a day or two doesn't mean you failed. The key is to avoid letting one missed day turn into a week and then into a month. Flexibility allows you to adjust without giving up. If you miss your usual practice time in the morning, maybe you can fit it in later in the day, or if you're too tired to do your full routine, you might do a shortened version. The goal is to keep the momentum going, even if it looks a little different on certain days. Patience is also crucial when building a daily practice. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, it can be difficult to stay committed to something when you don't see immediate results. But true transformation takes time. Whether you're working on improving your health, mindset, or skills, it's important to trust the process. The daily actions you take might feel small or insignificant in the moment, but over time, they add up. Just like a seed doesn't sprout into a tree overnight, your efforts will take time to bear fruit. Patience allows you to stay the course, knowing that every day you show up is moving you closer to your goals. Building a daily practice involves celebrating your progress no matter how small. It's easy to focus on what's left to do, but taking time to acknowledge how far you've come is vital for maintaining motivation. Each day you follow through on your practice is a victory. It reinforces your commitment to yourself and builds the confidence that you can achieve what you've set out to do. By celebrating your wins, you create a positive feedback loop that makes it easier to stay consistent. Building a daily practice is about consistency, discipline, accountability, flexibility, patience, and celebration. It's the small, intentional steps you take each day that lead to lasting change. While the journey may require effort and perseverance, the rewards, personal growth, improved well-being, and the realization of your goals are worth every moment you invest in yourself.